We're diving back into Coraline today, this time covering the helpful but weird contributions of Miss Spink, Miss Forcible, and Mr. Bobinsky. Hi guys, welcome back to the Fangirl. I am still your hostess McGann, and we are at 40 plus Coraline videos at this point, so just a reminder that not all of them are going to work in tandem. This particular theory comes from a letter sent to me by Ezra W. from Durham, North Carolina, so let me read what he sent in and then we'll break it all down. So I believe that all of the residents of the Pink Palace are alive and real, but they are being controlled by the Beldam. Now bear with me, throughout the movie, even at the beginning of the movie, as soon as Coraline made contact with the other world and came back, all of the residents of the Pink Palace were trying to help her by giving her simple, blinded clues. And what I mean by blinded clues is that they didn't even realize that they were helping her, giving her hints and tools unknowingly. I believe it was their true selves trying to break through their controlled robotic mind/body, trying to prevent Coraline from being taken by the Beldam. It makes so much sense. It would explain their random but helpful advice and tools. It would explain why they were located in the other world. Last but not least, I still don't know how to connect this into my whole robotic mind control theory fully, but when the other father told Coraline, sorry, she's making me, and gave her the eye, it seemed too bizarre and genuine for it to have been a setup by the Beldam. I think it was one of her creations or one of her past kids that she had taken that, again, has broken out of the control to try and help Coraline. Once more, that is not all. I have a second mini theory that goes along with the one above. I think that the three children in those pictures that we see hanging on the wall, all of these may be residents of the Pink Palace. Hear me out, in the pictures there are what seems to be two girls and one boy, at least by what I can see. That would account for the two ladies in the basement and the man in the attic. Now, how would this have happened? Why are there pictures of them as kids in the other world? Well, if all the residents of the Pink Palace were originally children that the Beldam had taken, and she fed off their love and affection until they grew old, then she used her powers to control them to help her take more children. That would explain where the other kids came from, ghost kids. The children she takes, when she's done feasting upon them, she doesn't dispose of them when they otherwise have nothing else to give. She continues to control them and uses them to take more children. This may explain why all of her creations were sort of helping Coraline, but also hesitated to follow through with the other mother's orders. These theories are nowhere near solid, that is why I'm handing it over for you to elaborate. So I'm going to try and do my best to do that today. And I do want to point out that the postmark here is November 29th, 2019. So yes, if you have sent me a letter and I've gotten it, if I am able to make it into a video, I will. But again, it has become a lot of other complicated things to where I'm not getting to these letters as quickly as I would have hoped. So anybody who's curious out there, if you haven't heard me discuss your idea yet, that's probably why. So to start breaking down Ezra's first theory, instead of what I've said before, that the Pink Palace residents in the other world are all actually puppets made to look like the residents, I believe Ezra is saying that it is actually Miss Spink, Miss Forcible, and Mr. Bobinsky that we see in the other world, like in their real bodies and everything, but they are being completely controlled by the Beldam. And if I'm processing this right, he's saying that the people that Coraline meets in the real world are the same people that Coraline meets in the other world, and the Beldam is just mind controlling them no matter where they are. Which would mean that no matter who Coraline is speaking to in her apartment complex, it's actually the Beldam speaking through them. That's definitely a possibility, but I'm not sure how well that holds up once we get to the Great Eyeball Easter egg hunt where Mrs. Spink and Forcible are taffy, and the other father is like a squash, and then Mr. Bobinsky is, what was he again? Like a trench coat full of rats or something, right? So I'm not sure that that theory really works out well in the other world, but that doesn't mean that the residents couldn't have been to the other world before. And actually, in terms of the real world, there might be something to this theory. Here's a curious detail that I think a lot of people have overlooked. Most people rightfully correlate the buttons with the Beldam, but what if the thread is the more dangerous part, so to speak? When the movie opens, the Beldam is tinkering with different objects, but what part of that scene makes most people feel cringy. Well, that needle and thread poking through the sack doll's flesh does it for me. And if you really look closely at the Beldam's final form, you'll notice that her fingers are actually little needles. So when we consider that, the correlation between a needle and thread is a lot stronger of a connection than a needle and a button. And that's not to say that the buttons don't matter at all, but even looking at Coraline on a more metaphorical level, we have terms like the string of fate, which is this concept of there being an invisible thread that connects people with events. And the thread is featured a lot more heavily in the intro than the buttons. And that could be a clue when you look at the basement apartment. When we enter Miss Spink and Miss Forcible's place, they have this huge collection of dead dogs that are all stuffed and mounted in angel costumes. Definitely creepy, but everybody lets go of things in their own way, so to each their own, I guess. But what I do find really strange is how every dog has an X sewn over their eyes. Now, as a kid, I used to go to some really bizarre auctions with my grandmother, so I've seen more than a few mounted heads in my day. So I know that in typical taxidermy, the normal eye doesn't really last. But at the same time, an animal looks really unnatural if it doesn't have any eyes at all. You know, it'll sink in where the eyelids are. It's just really kind of disturbing and gross. So taxidermists actually use these little marble-like things that they plug into the eye sockets, and they look like a normal glassy eye. So having a dead animal and stitching its eyes closed is not a normal practice, at least not in the United States where Coraline is set. And who knows, maybe that's just a design choice so that the audience is really aware that these dogs are dead. But at the same time, Leica isn't really known for skimping on these kind of details. They make their own props and they design their sets very carefully. The company even says that they believe the smallest details tell the biggest stories. So all of these stuffed dogs having their eyes sewn shut with little X's might mean something larger. And that's especially true when you consider that that X is the exact same kind of shape that you would use to sew on a button. If I'm not being clear enough, if the thread is at least as important as the button, then the Beldam might be controlling or at least closely monitoring Miss Spink and Miss Forcible through their dog bodies. So if the ladies were aware of that on any level, that could influence how they behave. And that could make them seem like total dingbats when they're trying to help Coraline, even though they're not able to break away from the Beldam's constant surveillance. So they have to be very careful with not only what they say, but what they do and how they do everything. If that's the case, there could easily be a similar kind of totem in Mr. Bobinsky's attic apartment, even if we can't identify it right away. So to that regard, yeah, I can see a lot of merit in the first part of Ezra's theory. Now the second part of Ezra's theory is also really interesting, and I think it can fit really nicely with other Coraline theories I've already done. If you're new here or need a refresher, my Coraline theory number 20, which seems like a bajillion theories ago now, took notice that there are silhouettes of children in the Otherworld house, but those silhouettes don't match the ghost kids that we see later in the movie. So that's loose evidence that the Beldam had more victims than we realized. But what Ezra's suggesting is that Spink, Forcible, and Bobinsky are the kids in those frames, and that when those kids grew up and didn't serve a purpose for the Beldam in the Otherworld, she just sent them out into the real world to act like spider webs and help get more children into the Beldam's lair. And I know some of you are about to jump in the comments and go, well, the residents in the real world don't have button eyes, so this doesn't work. And in a large way, you're not wrong. However, in my Coraline theory part 5, I called attention to the fact that the other mother doesn't have to use button eyes, and she can even make herself realistic looking eyes. And that made the Beldam look like an exact carbon copy of Coraline's mom, Mel. With that being established canon, does that mean that the Beldam can sew buttons into a child's eye and then later make those buttons look just like real eyes? Yes! That would be be completely within the other mother's power because those buttons come from her world, so she's able to control and manipulate them. That's a really good idea that seems to work in a lot of different ways. And it opens up a lot of other theories I've done because I've never been quite sure how to tie in specifically Spink, Forcible, and Bobinsky to everything. The movie has so many weird moments and hints with those three, but it never comes out and says anything firm. It's always just little breadcrumbs all over the place. So thank you, Ezra, for your letter and your awesome thoughts. Again, I'm sorry it's taken me so long to put this video together, but I really was not expecting all this quarantine stuff to throw me for such a loop. And then there's just been so many new things releasing. It feels like it has been a crazy year for new releases. And to anybody else who has sent me a Coraline related letter, I want to thank you again for your patience and reaffirm that I will get to yours as soon as I am able. It might not be reality, but theories are more fun. Old lady in a shawl derps time, and I'm here with Bean the puppy. She is, let's see, I think 19 weeks old and 4 days at this point. Oh, come here, Beanie. You cannot sit on my shoulder. You're not a parrot. Baby, you're not a parrot. Okay. You definitely do not want to be here. You want to climb in my shoulder because you think this is a car seat and that you're going to the VET. I understand. I sympathize. Can you look this way? Say hi, Beanie. By the way, if you haven't put it together, the theory part of the video is over and we're just kind of having a personal vlog derps right now. Beanie, is it rough being you? You want to go play? Okay, I'll do something else. Thank you for the kisses. Well, I guess I won't talk about my Cavalier King Charles Spaniel then, because she is not in a cooperative mood right now. But as you can notice, I did break into this video separately, and I have no makeup. My hair roots are still really bad. My acne is still not great because of all the time that I couldn't use my acne scrub because of my little, surgical cut here. But so many people were very interested in what I was saying at the end of my WandaVision video about my mole-ectomy, which came back benign, so yay! But I thought I would try to make an effort to kind of check in more and really sort of push myself to do the personal vlogs more. But hey, do I look any thinner yet? No, I know, probably not because I'm huge, but I have been trying this new program called Noom, N-O-O-M, and like all good vloggers, I have an affiliate link in my description below. After my last derps, when I was talking about how I really want to start getting my health back in order, I've been to see a medical doctor for the first time in probably 16 years. I am a big baby about medical stuff. I hate it. I hate all the kind of weird, painful things that they ask you to do. And it was so weird because I had all of these boxes checked on this entry patient form and the doctor went through a third of them. And it was like an alarm went off in her head. She's like, I've been in here too long, so I'm gonna go, bye. But we didn't even talk about all my health issues. So I reached out to a few different weight management kind of programs to see if anybody would let me have a try with it. And Noom did get back to me. They said, sure thing, we'll let you have an 8-month trial. And let me say, so far, I have done Weight Watchers before, and I absolutely hate Weight Watchers. It's kind of like being bought as a fish in a pet store and your new owner just takes you home and dumps you straight in the tank. You're in shock, you don't know what to do, everything's different, the water temperature's different, and it's kind of a formula for failure for a lot of people. I think Weight Watchers can work great if you are somebody who is, already in the dieting process and you don't really have addictions or things to work with. But for somebody like me who definitely has food addictions and really bad cravings and stuff, I kind of need more hand-holding than the Weight Watchers app can offer. So I was really excited when Noom reached back out to me and they're like, yeah, go ahead, give it a try. And right now I am about a week and a half to 2 weeks into the program and I like it so much better than Weight Watchers because they really kind of get me on a psychological level. So when you sign up for Noom, they ask you all of these questions and, every program does that. And you're just thinking, oh, well, they're trying to cover their butts for this or that. But Noom actually tailors their program around where you're at mentally. So for me, as somebody who doesn't really work out, but I'm kind of trying to work on it, and for somebody also like me who is not really good with nutritional kind of things because, it was something I never learned in school. I was a band kid. I didn't take the health classes. And both my parents worked nonstop, so So it was basically every day a call of what fast food do you want us to pick up? There was never any cooking. I never learned how to cook. My husband does all the cooking. I bake, but the problem is the things I bake are sugary, sweety things, and that's not any better for me. But in Noom, every day you log into the app and they have like 10 to 15 minutes of articles and little quizzes that you take. And believe me, I am not a great reader. I have dyslexia, but they are really nice large print articles. They're really short and they give you all these little nuggets of information that can really help you shape how you think about food and your choices with food. Like one of the things I never realized is that your stomach can't tell the difference between a pound of ground beef and a pound of salad, and both make you feel equally full. So every day, little by little, Noom is giving me new information, and it's really been helpful so far, especially when they're like, hey, listen, we know that you're not always going to stay in your calorie allotment. We know that some days you're going to eat too much red food, but it's about reforming your mindset and getting yourself to plan out better choices so that you don't get so many environmental triggers. And I can only speak to the program that they put me into. I don't know what other articles they might show to people who are, in a better health place than I am. But so far, I really like Noom. I'm really excited about it. So you'll probably hear me talk about it from time to time at the end of these derps. Again, no pressure. I never expect anybody to go out and buy every single thing that I ever recommend. But if you decide you are interested and you'd like to do their 2-week trial, it's not free, but you kind of get to pick what you want to pay. It's strange, but if you go through it, you'll see what I mean. And I have a link in the description below for that. If you choose to use that, that's great. If not, then I guess thanks for listening to me anyways. And I do want to be crystal clear that I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people in my inbox every week going, hey, promote us. Some offer me commissions, some offer me payment out front. But if it looks like a crappy product or something I don't like, I'm not gonna, go forward with talking about it. I don't care if they gave me cash and I have to give the money back. It is worth more to me to have people trust what I have to say than the $5, $10, $15, whatever it is that they offer me to have you sign up. So yeah, health things aren't really in the niche of what I talk about in this channel, but I don't know. I just got such a big response from trying to have a healthy moment in my last derps that I thought, hey, maybe you guys would like to talk about these things with me a little bit more and see how this journey goes, and hopefully it goes somewhere decent, because I could probably stand to lose like 100 pounds at least. Having 3 kids, no cooking skills, and Wendy's as your best friend is not great for your waistline. Those of you who have ever met me in person can probably attest to that. But anyways, I'm still kind of pumped up and hyped for this program right now, so I wanted to talk about it while it's still fresh in my mind. I know in a lot of the derps I do a song, but I've sung the only real Coraline song I can like 50,000 times now. It feels like I do that every time I do a Coraline video. So just trying something different. And I guess next derps, I don't know, it could be a song, it could be another health check-in, and we'll just see when we get there. Okay, I'm really gonna go now, guys, but thank you again so much for watching. Thank you for saying hi to Bean if you did, and we will see you next time, family members. Bye! So all of these stuffed dogs having their eyes shown So all of these stuffed dogs having their eyes shown So all of these stuffed dogs having their eyes shown shut with So all of these stuffed dogs having their eyes shown shut. So all of these stuffed dogs having their eyes sewn shut. Well, family members, we're almost done, but I want to invite you to hang out with me in some other places. I'm on Twitter and Instagram as my own personal self, and I have a Facebook page too, but I mostly just post photos over there. And sometimes people say, hey McGann, I want to mail you something. How do I do that? Easy. Just click the About tab on my channel page, and my most current P.O. Box info will be right there. I also run another channel, The Family. It's really a hodgepodge channel where we might post anything. Oh yeah, and I also sell shirts and stickers and stuff with the Family and the Fangirl logos. If that is your cup of tea, I have a link in every description of every video. Finally, if you want to help out the Fangirl channel and make sure I'm putting out video essays for years to come, the best way you can help is by subscribing and watching more of my videos, whether they're new, old, whatever. Maybe even share 1 or 2 on social media, help spread the word. episode. People who watch to the end of videos like you helps to tell the site, hey, this is a good video, we should recommend it to other people. So if you made it this far, leave me a comment of something like, hey, I made it to the end. Love ya. See you next time, family members. Bye.